Hello, I'm Carl Johnston. I'm the pastor of the Prairie Winds Parish that takes in the Atlanta, Ebenezer, and Hopedale United Methodist churches. Last Sunday, we did not have church because of the outbreak of the coronavirus. This is a Reader's Digest version of that sermon. It was entitled, and is entitled, A Simple Request. Jesus was going to and through through Samaria, John chapter 4. And in that chapter, we hear the story about the woman at the well. Jesus came about noon and sat down from his journey, and he made a simple request: give me a drink of water. That was shocking, absolutely shocking, that there would be someone, a man, would talk to a Samaritan woman because they'd had nothing to do with each other. First of all, they had the gender difference. He was a man, she was a woman. How dare you speak to her without another man, a member of her family, present? And second, they were of different religions. What the Jews believed and how the Samaritans believed were different. And then there was the cultural differences of how they did things and how they thought about things. So they had all sorts of different things that just could have driven them apart. Jesus took this simple request and said, please give me a drink of water. In the NIV, it's a request, it's a question. And in that question, Jesus begins to break down barriers, and he starts to take a look at what's going on in her life and starts to ask her and engages her in conversation. And she's interested in not toting any more water. And Jesus says, I have living water. And living water in that time meant running water. Now, at the Saturday night service at Atlanta, it was interesting. We had some folks who began to talk to me about their experiences growing up. Their experiences growing up about before there was running water in the house, how they had to go out to the well and pump it and take their bucket with them and then bring it back to the house for cooking, cleaning, bathing, all those sorts of things. I discovered that the average American today needs 65 gallons of water a day. That would mean 13 trips out to the well. Well, and that's just for one person. Now, you do the math for how big your family was when you were growing up, and you'll figure out how much work that really was. So she was relieved to hear that Jesus was going to offer her living water. The idea that she would never have to go back to that well, that she would never have to, she could have running water, living water. Now, for some people, they actually experience that. They know what it's like to have that experience, to have walked out to the well and pumped water for so many different things. And then there was a day when they got running water in the house. And suddenly their life was tremendously easier. Now, you can take some time to put this video on pause and you can talk to those around you if that was your experience and how many times you had to go to the well and how many times you went for water. But things changed, and things changed radically. Jesus, with a promise of living water, was offering her a different sort of life. Not physically, not the physical kind of walking and being thirsty, but spiritually. Her own soul was thirsty, and it was looking for something that couldn't satisfy. We know this because the next question, the next request, the simple request, secondly, that Jesus says is, go call your husband. They'd been talking and understanding the culture of the day, asked her to go call her husband. She didn't have a husband. The truth is she'd had 5, and the one man that she had right then wasn't her husband. Now, there is no way on earth that Jesus could have known that she had had 5 husbands before. Maybe she was a widow. We just don't know. But she'd gone through some relationships. And she said, I perceive you're a prophet. And so she goes to a different question. But that is a problem of secrets. Sometimes there are things that we have said and done and thought that we don't want anybody else to know about. And Jesus, no humanly way could he have known that. But it wasn't humanly. He knows us eternally, divinely. He knows every idea, every word, everything we've ever done. And sometimes it makes some folks feel a little creepy. But also there's a great sense of comfort and joy in that. And he knows her secrets and still loves her and still wants to work with her. And if Jesus can work with her, he can work with us. She says, you're a prophet, so where's the right place to worship? So she turns the question theological. And Jesus says to her, the right place to worship isn't on one mountain or another mountain, as though God is limited to a particular physical location. God is everywhere. So those who worship him must worship him in spirit and truth. Look at this. We're doing a video. You're watching a video. God is right here. God is as present as our very breath. She says to him finally, the Messiah is going to straighten all of this out. And Jesus looks her dead in the eye and says, I am the one you're speaking to. Now, the story of the woman at the well goes on, but I'm going to stop about here because it's really important that we take a look at some of the barriers in our lives. What kind of things does Jesus need to work in our lives that can be broken down so that we could have a better relationship with him? What is it that we're striving for, longing for, thirsting for, that God would say to you and to me, I can provide that. I'm reminded of this song, like the woman at the well, I was seeking for things that could not satisfy. And then I heard my Savior speaking, draw from my well, it never shall run dry. Fill my cup, Lord, I lift it up, Lord. Come and quench the thirsting of my soul. Bread of heaven, feed me till I want no more. Fill my cup, fill it up and make me whole. May Jesus Christ be the source of all the deepest longings of your life. God bless you.